All right, we are back here at our favorite bike park and makeshift drone park. We have the Develop Air Mini there. And who says you can't fix damaged goods, right? So we have part of the HereFlow and Rangefinder setup here. The other part being here, neither are connected. Since the last test flight where both were connected didn't go so well, I'm just getting this newly rebuilt Develop Air Mini back up and running before I take it back over to Gerardo, our electrical engineer, to get these sensors reintegrated and probably back tomorrow morning for another flight test. So let's go ahead, and we already have our controller set up. I have a Legion Go that we're using for our ground control software. Should just be able to hit connect here, and yep, have satellites, battery voltage, and percentage. We're in Loiter flight mode, and I was not able to connect in QGroundControl out here, well, for long, using the Bluetooth connection just within QGroundControl. It's a QGroundControl bug. The Bluetooth connection is not staying connected. So looks like we should be good to go in Loiter flight mode, but in QGroundControl, it was saying need position estimate. So I'm actually going to, oh yeah, it's saying actually need position estimate down here, so.
Altitude hold flight mode.
Altitude hold flight mode, I should not need. Unfortunately, you can't see this screen, and I'm just realizing that it would be nice to have a ability to screen record this. But we are in altitude hold flight mode, as we can also see here through our drone modes menu. And we are using the production version of World's iVue and the iVue RoboControl app. So anything you see here, you can follow along and replicate at home. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take off in altitude hold flight mode. So you're going to see more drifting than you would as if the GPS were enabled. All right, and now let's see, now that we're above head height. So I'm in Loiter flight mode now. It's still drifting, so I don't think it's really locked onto a position. Yeah, it's still not in Loiter flight mode as indicated by the iVue RC app, even though on the controller, I did go ahead and press the Loiter flight mode button. Yeah, Loiter flight mode is not currently working. Warning mode change to Loiter. I can't necessarily read it. Yeah, still not changing to Loiter flight mode. Let's see if I can use land flight mode.
Stabilized flight mode.
That's stabilized flight mode. That's RTL, I think. Maybe I don't have land flight mode enabled. Oh, no.
Altitude hold flight mode.
All right, we're going to land it and see if we can do a compass calibration or even just via a USB connection, see what's going on, why we're not getting a position estimate. Now, that partially could be due to the fact that the parameters were not reset on this Develop Air Mini from the prior build, where the GPS was being configured differently using both the HereFlow and Rangefinder to help it find its position. Now let's see, can I switch to Loiter?
Loiter flight mode.
So I was able to switch to Loiter flight mode now here on the ground. We're going to try taking off in Loiter flight mode. although it might go a little haywire. Yeah, I know. Sorry, camera. It might not even let me arm. Yep, so it's not going to let me arm in loiter flight mode. It's saying need position estimate on the controller. I wonder in the terminal if we get the same warning. Yes, we do. Look at that. That's a new update, part of version 1.6.0, ladies and gentlemen. All right, still need position estimate. Now, using EKF source set to 3, using EKF or set to 2, using EKF source set to 1. And now that it's set to 1, nope. I'm just trying all these different values. Nope. And 3. Nope. Okay. Going back to 1. We're going to disconnect here from the iVue RC app and see if we can maintain a solid connection in QGroundControl. And if nothing else, you'll see one area where there's no room for improvement.
High latency enabled.
And now I did enable high latency mode since I last said we had the connection issue, so, but you could see here that this green line hasn't actually indicated that the connection is fully established.
PreArm. Need position estimate.
And about halfway typically, at least not in high latency mode, we've lost connection. But it looks like high latency mode might do the trick. So I guess word of the wise, if you're having a problem with the Bluetooth connection between your TX controller and your ground control station computer or phone, technically still a computer, then enable high latency mode and you might resolve the issue. All right, need position estimate. Let's go ahead.
Need position estimate.
So I guess in high latency mode, you don't have all of the options that you normally would. And by options, I mean like the ability to do a compass calibration, sensor calibrations, motor test, etc. So let me go to application settings, comlinks.
PreArm. Need position estimate.
Okay, I can't disconnect here, but let's see if I turn off high latency mode, if we have any better luck with the Bluetooth connection working in the way that it should. And I bet here we're gonna get a disconnected error. I would love to be wrong. Three hours later.
Need position estimate.
Come on, don't disconnect on me. You don't want to and communication loss, what did I tell you? All right, let's go ahead and try hooking this up via USB. And I just realized this is USB-C only on this Legion. So we're gonna call it here. I'm gonna do the rest of this on the bench and you'll see this DevelopAir Mini one way or the other. Again, more likely than not tomorrow. Again, probably with Gerardo and all of this integrated, but if nothing else, we'll have it flying in Loiter flight mode, even without the Terra Ranger, Rangefinder, and HereFlow optical flow sensor. Just making sure that nothing is wrong with this GPS unit before we reintegrate all of the components together. But in any case, thanks for watching. Catch us in the next one. Peace. Scratch that. Give me some more. We're back for in the field troubleshooting. Figured it's nice enough out here. Not really in a huge time crunch other than, you know, always work to be done, right? Drones don't build themselves. 3D printers don't clear themselves off. Social media posts don't write themselves and post themselves. Not yet. Not for me anyway. Actually, our Instagram posts kind of post themselves. If we consider Tharoon posting themselves, or Tharoon posting themselves. Gee, thanks Tharoon. Helping us get out there more beyond what I do on my own accord. Well, thanks to everyone else allowing me to do said work. All right, I am going to open up our developer mini parameters list and scratch that. Oops. Scratch that, give me some more, scratch that. All right. GPS. All right, let's see if that parameter is set as it should. Wow, this pop-up seat really is nice. Serial 3 protocol. I think that's, yep, -1. All right, let's see. I think it's got to be something to do with the parameters for the HereFlow and TerraRanger. Let me see if I can. TerraRanger Tower. No, it's not the Tower Evo. It's the TerraRanger 1. Here we go. So I don't think it will be dependent on the rangefinder as much as the HereFlow, which is not connected. And I guess that is a difference between this flight and the last one. While I'm at it, I'm going to get this controller on the charger.
Inactivity alarm.
Just move it a little bit, hopefully not arm the motors. And I don't even know if this USB hub will be capable of charging this controller, but at least we tried. Fixing damaged goods, or so we thought. Yeah, I guess fixing damaged goods may not be possible. Wow, look at that. An iVue Robotics video showing up when you just search HereFlow. Wow. Those guys must know what they're doing. All right. A rangefinder is required. Performance can be improved. Testing and setup. All right, this might be what we're looking for here. Let's see if any of these parameters are changed. EK3. Okay, yep. So that's set to optical flow. We want to set that to GPS. GPS. Let's reboot and see if we can get a position estimate now with these parameters. Give me that position estimate. When you see this not ready in yellow, turn to ready in green, and of course just not see that message pop up. Poop. Trying to get a non-engineer, well, this isn't really engineer's work, I guess, kind of, sort of is, but let's see if the test dummy can rise above and do more than test dummy work. One thing that we can do is reset all the parameters, and I can set this developer menu back up as it needs to be. Let me go ahead and see if I have a parameters file on here that might be OpenC3 developer mini pre-flight params. Let's try loading this up without the flight modes. Will keep the same, and okay, the file versus what's on the vehicle. So yep, we will actually change those flight modes. I think those are better settings than what we have currently. FS throttle enable. Always enable RTL versus disable. We'll keep this as is already. This might be the velocity XY is what's needed to be set. All the compass values might make it so we need to reset the compass. We're gonna keep low volt. No, we'll take that over from OpenC3s. I don't know why we have a boot delay. I think Gerardo added that boot delay, so we'll keep it. I think it's something like the PixHawk has to boot up, or the HereFlow or Terra Ranger has to boot up before the PixHawk, or vice versa. I think it would make sense. One of those sensors has to boot up first with adding a delay to the PixHawk booting. You know what? I'm going to not transfer any of these compass values. Oh my goodness. Just want to make sure, okay. Enabled. Keep the geofence disabled. No optical flow. Oh, actually, yeah, we want to transfer that. We're not going to transfer these RC values. Going to disable the RC11 option and RC12 option. Looks like the transmitter controller there for the OpenC3, our customer model, was properly calibrated, where we didn't go through that whole calibration process for our own internal unit. So I would say what our work here is indicative of the unit that you're going to receive or what you're going to use and receive, but ideally you're going to receive quite a bit better. RC5 option, auto RTL. I'm gonna keep RC options, rangefinders, RTL altitude. This was the main parameter I was worried about, so the motors don't swap directions. And servo, here goes nothing. And we're just going to give it a few moments to make sure all those parameters were properly set and saved. Sometimes you'll get a pop-up message saying that not all the parameters took effect. And now if this doesn't actually solve the GPS positioning problem, then we probably will have to reset it as if it were brand new.
Loiter flight mode. GPS 3D 6 lock.
Nice. We got a GPS fix. No position estimate yet though. Rangefinder not detected. I thought we disabled that. Let's take a look again.
GPS home acquired.
Okay, yep, so we should try doing all the range finders, disable those. Actually. And let's try that. Although I think we might be in the green. Yeah, we're in the green. PreArm rangefinder not detected though. Let's just go ahead and remove that rangefinder. RNG, FND. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. It says rangefinder type none. Oh, and the message went away. Okay, look at that. Well, syncing here, stopping the recording, and then we're going back to the Legion. Guess who's back? Back again. Jacob's back. Go tell your friends. Let's close out of that. And we're opening up a new screen recording here. All right, starting the screen recording. And we're going to try connecting here. Wow, look how seamless this is. No cables required, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to reboot the developer menu just so it resets its home position as well. So it doesn't try to come land back here on the table should anything go awry. Not that anything would go awry. Rebooting. Wow, that's another great UI update to show the current status of the developer connection. All right.
Loiter flight mode. GPS 3D
All right, look at that. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to ARM. And we're going to ARM. Oh, it's still saying position estimate. No! All right, let's give it another moment or two since we rebooted.
Altitude hold flight mode.
I'm going to try switching to loiter flight mode in mid-flight again, but we're going to take off in altitude hold flight mode, assuming it will let us. But it does not seem like we are able to. Let me go setting it back to loiter flight mode. And now I can't even set, oh,
Loiter flight
here
mode.
we are in loiter flight mode. We're going to attempt to take off using no controller, just using the arm and fly message here in the iVue RC app, which isn't exactly great, but I'm going to try press.
Guided flight mode. Motors armed.
So no throttle input is being received. All right, I just
Motors
disarmed.
disarmed.
Wow, look how responsive our UI is. All right, I guess back to the USB cable. We'll keep the iVue RC app open. And we'll connect via USB to my computer and QGroundControl. See what the going on. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Bing, bing. This shit is crazy frog. All right.
Loiter flight mode.
That's kind of sketch, but why am I not able to arm? Radio's not calibrated. All right. Oh man. Even though I really don't want to, I'm gonna take off the props because at one point, if this radio calibration does what I would like it to do, it's gonna make it so these motors spin up, and quite frankly, I don't want to deal with them spinning up with the props on this close to me, especially if it were to tip over, which what's the likelihood of that happening? Or, you know, take off. All right, getting all the switches back to the top position.
EKF variance.
All right, holding down the center or the left. Oh, I'm not even screen recording here now. Let me do that. And I'll do another sync. I'm in sync. What? That's Backstreet Boys. And I'm just following the on-screen commands. So that would arm it. That would disarm it.
GPS home acquired.
All right, I think that's all the switches moved back and forth to their extreme positions. And all right, should have the radio calibrated now, RC calibrating. Need position estimate. How about you get that position estimate faster, Developer Mini? So we bypassed the need position estimate problem previously, but now it's back. I think it's partially because it's next to three devices emitting Wi-Fi. See if we reboot out here, we can get a position estimate, and we're now able to arm in loiter mode. But it looks like there's like some RC parameter that's not set right now too. just stopped recording there. Yep, still need position estimate.
Altitude hold flight mode.
Not even able to arm in altitude hold flight mode. Well, at least with this controller.
Smart RTL deactivated. Motors armed.
So arming and
Motors
disarming
disarmed.
works via the iVue RC app, but not the controller anymore. You're going the wrong way! We're gonna be the last ones at the bike park, not even biking. And we're back. Back again.
Loiter flight mode. GPS home acquired.
Okay, so I need to have the EKF dial set to position 1, and this need position estimate I think will go away. Yep. But now we still need to work out why we can't arm. I think it might be up because of our RC options parameter. Going to try setting RC options to 0. We're going to reboot. Look at the pupper.
Stabilize flight mode. No GPS. Altitude hold flight mode. GPS 3D fix lock.
Nice.
Loiter flight mode. GPS home acquired.
Going to have to Google this. Transmitter. Arming ArduCopter parameter. Let's see. And ArduCopter not receiving TX input. with but stick put detected. Let's see. I don't get it. Look, SR1. Those all look correct. What about serial 1? That looks correct. Let me double check. It would be SR1 RC channel. Yep. Just resetting this back to 32, as this is the only other parameter off the top of my head that I can think we changed.
Stabilize flight mode. No GPS. Altitude hold flight mode. GPS 3D fix lock. Loiter flight mode. Altitude hold flight mode.
I'm getting no feedback to arm here either.
GPS home acquired.
I got psyched out there a little bit.
Loiter flight mode.
Now let's see if I have a game controller that's not this one. Oh, I could possibly use this. But yeah, let me go try getting a game controller. I'll be right back. Ba-da-da-ba-da-da-da-da. Not even sure this cable will work. Joystick did pop up. Do we already have? Nice.
Motors armed.
Okay.
Land flight mode. Motors disarmed.
Wow, look at that, running 2 ground control softwares at the same time. So we're going to try flying with the game controller. Going to reboot via the iVue RC app. Yep. Oh, I can't fly with the, in the way that I was thinking. All right. I think for real this time, I'm just going to have to reset it up as a new developer mini to get it properly working with this transmitter, or at least that's the idea. Or maybe we'll even just set it up so we don't have to use the transmitter. I'll ultimately have to run that by Gerardo, our engineer, as he likes to set up the HereFlow to GPS, or HereFlow and Rangefinder to GPS positioning switch to one of these dials. So if you want to use the GPS for positioning or the HereFlow rangefinder setup, you just do so by switching that dial or rotating the dial. Nonetheless, I guess a somewhat successful flight test here today. I guess for real this time. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Catch you in the next one. Peace. You didn't think we would give up that easily? I hope not anyway, but after just turning everything off and then turning it back on, the controller, the TX transmitter, was able to ARM develop Air Mini. So we're gonna give it one last good old college try, and if you're me, that's a whopping 3 semesters. Dun, da, 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 da.
Lines flight mode. Altitude hold flight mode.
Can we just connect that easily?
GPS 3D fix lock.
Oh. Dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, da. Da, da, da.
GPS home acquired.
Going to minimize the full screen. Going to eject the serial port, or the Bluetooth connection essentially. Disconnect. And let's see if we connect here, will it work as we want it to? Connect. Yeah, look at that. Why would I ever be so surprised? Loiter flight mode. Can we arm, ladies and gentlemen?
Motors armed.
Oh my gosh, now can we take off? Oh my goodness. We did it, we did it, we did it. Yeah, we did it. All right, forward is forward, back is back, left is left, right is right. All is right in the world. Persistence pays off, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And for real this time, you can fix damaged goods. smack that all on the floor. All right, third time's the charm. For real this time. Thanks for watching. Peace.